All right, turn the resolution down again. Earlier I was bumping up the resolution trying to fix the size of my screen, and obviously it wasn't a resolution issue. It was the settings in the software that streams this. So I turned the resolution all the way down. Hopefully that fixed it. I just typed that so it shows you how much of a delay that is. Turned resolution all the way down. Can you hear me, Andrew? If you can hear me, I'll answer that question. Or type, say yes that you can hear me. Okay, thanks, Jake. 3-second delay. No, actually, Jake, you probably didn't miss anything. What you missed was me troubleshooting and trying to fix the software here. Okay, I said I'd answer your question. What was it? Andrew, the drop on my truck is 4.5 on the front, 6 on the back. I got a flip kit in the rear, no C-notch, just removed the bump stop, and the front is 2.5-inch spindles and about 2-inch springs. Subcode A. Good, I'm glad the delay is not that bad. Car shows videos. It should be working now. No problem, Andrew. Austin, who? Most rear wheel horsepower. What are you referring to? Must have been a question I missed earlier. I should scroll back up here and see what's been going on. Yeah, I think this is probably the smoothest those cameras run yet. So what's up? What's going on? How's y'all's New Year's going? Must be going safe enough. You're near a computer. How do you say that? Demikpre? Demikpre. No, you didn't miss a stream. You got caught in the middle of trying to troubleshoot what was going on. Like I was saying again, I'll say it earlier. Last time I streamed video from YouTube, you were on YouTube itself. You could straight start recording and live stream from YouTube, which I had to figure that out then and how it worked. Now, though, I jumped on there 30 minutes before, so about 8:30, I jumped on there to live stream, and it doesn't work that way anymore. You have to download a software onto your laptop, computer, whatever it is, to make it stream. So the software you put on your computer actually streams it to YouTube. So I had to rush and download that. I'm surprised there's not a watermark on here from the company of the software I downloaded, XSplit or something like that. I don't know. YouTube suggested. Probably it's like my one free chance to use it, and then they'll charge me the next time. So anyways, I had to run through that. That's what took me about 9:20. I finally got on here, and then I had to work out getting it to work correctly. But we got it going. So for any of y'all that may consider live streaming in the future, be prepared for that craziness. You see me looking down here to the right. I'm trying to see y'all's comments. And see what I miss. Someone is serious. How am I supposed to say your name? Mike Pre. He says, what the heck is going on with the turbo build? Yeah, I need to do an update video on that. I haven't done much to it because of the holidays. My in-laws came in town. We did a lot of work around the house. But since the last video I posted was it running on the stand. Since then, we've put the engine in the car with the T56 transmission, drive shaft. So the powertrain's all hooked up. I put in a Astrovan steering shaft that eliminates the rag joint. And put the exhaust merge on like I had it running on the stand. Oh, I also heat wrapped it. Also heat wrapped the manifolds. So I got that all on it and it's in the car. What I've been debating over this week, because it's time to get back onto the Camaro, what I've been debating on is how I was going to run the downpipe, the pipe coming out of the back of the turbo. I didn't really want a fender exit, even though that's probably the best answer to get the best performance out of it. I didn't want to have to do that. You know, I like it to kind of be hidden. If I'm able to hide the downpipe, kind of hide a little bit the fact that it's boosted, it'll be more surprising when I catch somebody who thinks there's still a 305 TBI in there. But we'll see. So I just ordered, actually today, I just ordered some mandrel bend 4-inch pipe that I want to try to squeeze the downpipe from the passenger side head down behind the engine, down the firewall. I had a piece of 4-inch pipe, it's outside, that I test fit, and it fits, but by the time I heat wrap that 4-inch pipe, it's going to be touching the frame and the firewall. So we just got to hope that the heat doesn't transfer through the firewall. That's what's up on the Camaro. Shifter's in, clutch is in. It's got a good Diamond Stage 3, 750 horsepower clutch, even though that transmission probably can't handle all that power. It's in there. That's why I say I'll probably eventually, when I get serious, go with an 80E, something that can handle the power that's going to be making. That 4th gen aluminum drive shaft probably can't handle the power either, but we'll see. So when I decide to get serious and quit just smoking tires, I'll go with the 80E in it. Right now it'll be my tire smoker though, and I am building the 8.8-inch steel for it. Actually, here's a piece of it. This is what you weld. Well, say it's a puzzle you got to weld together from Hilti on LS1 Tech. You weld it together and weld it to the 8.8 rear end, and it'll hold your torque arm for the Camaro. I just got to finish adapting it to that rear end. Yeah, I just got into, actually I didn't read anybody else's comment until I was in the middle of answering that one. The 8.8 rear end is what I'm building for the Camaro. I didn't tell you about I've got Moser 31 spline axles in for the 8.8 build. John Doe says it's frozen. Is it still frozen? Star. Hey, we can play a little music, act like MTV here if we need. Spice it up. Okay, thanks, Jake. Thanks, Austin. All right, let me scroll back up, see how many comments I missed. I got involved in the answer and lost track of everything. You got me thinking about how much I need to do an update video on the Camaro. That's probably what I was thinking. Well, Jake, you talking about the Camaro spooling. You won't hear it so much. Or maybe not until I get challenged and I'll punch it and they'll hear it. But I mean, with the exhaust ran all the way out to the back, you might not hear it so much. I don't know. I blew it up. Oh, okay. Let's see. Do they make coilovers for your truck? Hey, where there's a will, there's a way. You can make some fit, but I don't know of any. No. That was a solo main. Oh, Austin's asking about the most I've ever put down. Talking about horsepower on a dyno, I guess. I don't know. I guess it would be my last truck. I didn't put down nothing crazy. That Camaro will be something crazy. My last truck was just an LS6 cam. It was 330 at the wheels. This truck should be more than that, but I haven't got numbers on it yet. The Squirter was 330 on a different dyno, but 330 at the wheels. I expect to see over 700 at the wheels with the Camaro. That's also my first turbo build. I missed all kinds of comments. Oh, he spelled it out for me. Okay, aka shoot. I don't know if that makes sense to me. Demic, 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 Demic. All right, scrolling down, scrolling down. What's up, Chevy Malibu 69? I did not, Eric asked if I put the better rear end in. I did not put the rear end in yet. I'm still building it. That's what's slowing me down right now. I didn't weld the tubes. I'll move the camera here in a minute and show you. But I didn't weld the tubes, the F-body tubes to the rear end yet, because it'd be easier to move the rear end section. Once I get this fitted, once I get the torque arm mount fitted to the rear end, I'll carry the that center section to a buddy's and have him weld it with nickel rod to the center section. And so it'd be easier to carry it that way if I don't have the F-body tubes in the housing. But I got a lot to show you because I've made the sleeves that'll adapt the 8.8 housing to the F-body tubes. I've got 31 spline Moser axles in. What else? I've collected, I painted the F-body tubes. I've collected a few more 8.8 rear ends and axles. I've decided I'm going to build a few different 8.8 rear ends. And once I get them more built, with a more defined plan of which way I'm going with them, I'm going to do a video covering multiple methods of how to build an 8.8 for an F-body. From the average, most common way that costs a little bit of money because those dang axles were $350, to a way that'll be cheaper where you just reuse the Explorer axles, and the pros and cons of both ways of building them. I'm kind of excited about that project. It's fun. Lots of options when you're building a custom rear end like that. Let's see. Yeah, I wonder how many people have been busted by or bothered by having their downpipe running out their fender too loud. I don't know. Probably depends on what state you're in. That's what Austin was asking. The mic. Man, I'm having a hard time. I have to make a nickname for your name. I'm butchering it every time. I might as well make up a new word for you. The McPree. Anyways, he's talking about make a room for it in the floor pan. Yeah, I might do that. When I first started building that Camaro a while back, I was trying to keep it nice, AC and all that. That was a long time ago. But since then, I've come to a completely different mentality. I decided for the comfort, I've got my truck, my Cadillac truck, I call it, the C10. And for the Camaro, I'm going race mode on it. How far race mode, I don't know. If I was going all the way race mode, I'd fender exit it, right? But I'm deleting the AC. I'm going to keep the heater mainly to help defrost the windows, so I'm able to drive it in case they fog up in the rain or something. He was talking about, though, cutting a passage in the firewall to make room for a downpipe. That's a good point. It's a good point. Maybe if I know I can squeeze it down there now, so maybe if I run it down there and it's too close and it starts transferring heat into the cab or something, then maybe I will. Not a bad point. I talked to, what's his name, George Mello. He's the one that Sloppy Mechanics showed not too long ago, making 902 wheel horsepower on the dyno with the 3rd gen Camaro. He pointed out a few things to me recently to help me come up with ideas for the downpipe. He noticed quite a huge horsepower gain by dumping the exhaust shortly. I should say as close to the turbo as he could. What he did is he had a 4-inch downpipe going from the turbo all the way to the rear end, but by dumping it at the firewall. He put, he had a electric dump. By dumping it at the firewall, he was able to make quite a bit more power. I think about 100, somewhere around there. So I'll probably go with electric dump at the firewall as well. Read these comments and catch up. Rodney's asking about half-ton Chevy truck springs fitting in a 3/4 ton. They may fit, but I wouldn't usually do it that way. I would usually use a 3/4 ton spring and a half-ton, but then cut it down so you get a firmer, sportier ride. You can lower it and still have the firm spring, keep it from bouncing too much and bottoming out. Oscar said he'd rather watch my feed than Ryan Seacrest. Dang it, I lost track. Yeah, Jake, I am going to be doing the homemade cow tracks. Actually, when he started that, Greg's a friend of mine. Greg Aiken started doing the cow tracks. When he started that, I told him that I got the material here. I've got the pipe and I've got the material here where I've been planning on doing it, but it hasn't been top of the priority list. For one, I guess I haven't been drag racing my truck, so I haven't noticed the wheel hop. And I just haven't had much need for it, but I am going to build the cow tracks for my truck. Keep on wrenching, Alex. That I think Andrew was asking about that steering shaft. I guess he must have saw on Facebook that I put that Astrovan steering shaft in my Camaro and in my truck. Also be knowing that the Cherokee, I'm not sure what year Cherokee, but the Cherokee steering shaft will do the same thing. But the Astro shaft, you have to have an extra one here somewhere. You have to clock the end of it to make it fit. The Cherokee one you don't. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is I saw someone post on Facebook on my post the other day that that shaft will work in the K10 also. I think I only had 1 or 2 people say that they were able to make it work. Let me scroll back up. I lost y'all. Okay, I'm on. All right. Updates every day. Yeah, I'm stressing hard to try to get updates to y'all more often. It's been difficult, especially with the holidays, and I got young children. But I'm trying to get updates to y'all as much as possible. You'd be surprised how much it's difficult to run the camera and hold the camera work done at the same time. So I usually either have to choose, I'm either going to be wrenching or I'm going to be shooting a video. And it's hard to not get work. It's hard to turn down getting work done and progress done, like getting the Camaro running, just to make a video. So I have to stop doing updates. So I'm trying to find a way to where I can still do an update video and still make progress. Just go through and spit something out real quick, say what's going on, maybe even mention some of the issues I'm having, so that way y'all can comment and help me brainstorm on what I may be working on. Like I've been brainstorming on the turbo downpipe. I should have brought that up to you. F-150 Garage said, what do you think of the 1963 Chevy C10 fleet side short beds, small back window? Are you asking about the window specifically? Trucks, I love the trucks. I've never had to deal with driving the small back window. I would love to have the truck. If you got one, I'll take it. All right. Hey, he's got a good point. Trying to scroll up for the questions. We don't stay live if I do that, right? So I'll quit scrolling up and just try to stay at the bottom. If I've missed your question, post it again. It's a very good point. Appreciate that. Can't say your name. Demi-Pre. All right, let me scroll down to the bottom. Too far. Jake says, anytime it freezes, remember to refresh your page. YouTube is just like that sometimes. Interesting. Yeah, with this still, even if you actually no, I have a. What'd you say? You said, but and a GoPro. Okay, check it out. You listed a GoPro, tripod, glasses. Oh, glasses with an HD camera. In a way, I have those things. I just recently got a tripod. I used to use a freaking ladder. I'd set a ladder down here in my garage and hang the GoPro from that ladder, which sucked. So I now have a tripod. I found one cheap. Talking about glasses with the HD. I don't have it in here, but I have a hat. I acquired or won, whatever, they give away hats at events. So I have a hat. I mounted the dang GoPro. I freaking drilled a hole through that thing and put a GoPro on the hat. So I have a head mount camera. It's not about, I'm able to put cameras where I need them, but it's still about positioning them to where you can see what's going on. That's the problem. And then, changing out the batteries, making sure that you have enough video card. I got plenty of video card. Usually it's batteries more. Those batteries only last about an hour. Happy New Year's. What's it? Vorton. Vorton. How's that truck doing? Mr. Vorton 23 there recently 5.3 swapped to C10. I know he was pretty happy about it. He had a couple burnout contest videos in it. Jacob, like I said earlier, Jacob was the other team at the LS Fest engine swap challenge. The other red C10 that got swapped. Davy's the one that I was working on. He said that we should convince Davy to race him at LS Fest. That would be cool. Imagine that, man. That would make a good video too. The two trucks that were LS swapped at LS Fest the previous year racing each other the next year. That would be cool. There's got to be some rule. There would have to be some type of rules though to keep things fair. It wouldn't be fair if you kept yours as it was swapped and then I come over here and snuck nitrous on Davy's truck. So we'd have to come up with some kind of rules about that. But that would be cool. I know for sure that he would be rebuilding his rear end before then, though, if that was going to be the case, because he's got 273 gears and an open diff. So that would be a must. Good idea, though, Jake. Oh, I just now finished reading your comment, though. It said you've decided to spray the truck. It's not a bad idea. How big a shot you going with? At least 150. It's got to be. What do you think about turbo 3.4 V6 in a 4th gen Camaro? Just an idea I had. If I had a V6 4th gen Camaro, I would turbo it. That's what I think about it. Yep. The critical part will be the tune to make sure you don't blow it up. So have someone who tunes well. Maybe a little meth injection. Definitely. Thank you, Austin. How much did your LS swap cost? I think is what he's trying to say there. I asked the other cat on YouTube, and he said 4,000. Well, it all depends. Here's the problem, Gabriel, with how much does an LS swap cost. I usually tell people roughly $2,500, $3,000, because it depends. There's so many variables. Here's what the problem is. Here's the game. When people start swapping, you'll see all of the options of upgrades that you can do, and you're like, well, while I'm in here, I should do this. Well, while I'm in here, I should do that. And you don't think about the end game, how much it'll wind up costing you. So you start buying headers, you start buying the nice intake because you want it to look pretty, and this and that. Next thing you know, you've got a lot more money into it. So like my first truck, for example, the 84 C10 that was stolen, I had it running and driving for under $2,000. There's one answer for you. This truck, though, what did I do to it? I had the heads valve job, that's what, $225. I put more into it. Long tube headers. You don't have to get long tube headers. So I lost track, actually. I need to make a list on how much this truck cost me, but a good guess is $2,500. You can do it budget swapped. Holy crap. A whole bunch of comments just jumped in on my screen. All right, so let's pick another one. Just a basic upgrade, 88 GMC, just a 5.3 running. Yeah, especially if it's a truck. If it's a truck, you can do the swap cheap. If it's a car is when it gets expensive, because trying to do a swap into a car is when you have to buy the more expensive intake, low profile. A low profile oil pan costs more money. All those things for a car is where it gets expensive. When you do it in a truck, you don't have to buy any of that junk. You can use the truck stuff. So you can do a swap for $2,500. or less. It all depends on how good you are at sourcing parts and your patience. Hey, F-150 Garage, I'm trying to understand your question there. It says, what do you think of a 1963 C10 built 350 fleet side, short bed, small back window? What do I think of it? It sounds like an awesome truck. Maybe I guess you'd wonder my opinion of the truck. Yeah, it sounds awesome. I prefer the fleet side bed, and I would definitely like to have a truck like that. I don't know how long I'd be able to keep it with the 350 in it. That's just my addiction to LS swap everything. But my father-in-law had a 65, and it was awesome. Loved it. What's up, Savage Medic? Howdy. Badass Stain. What's up, man? It's been a while. And I just drew a blank on your name. I can see your face right now, but I forgot your name. I think it started with a D. No problem, man. Happy New Year's. Richard Wiley's 88 to 98 Chevy truck. Can you make another video of how he wired it inside the cab? I can talk to him about that. He did the cab wiring on his own. He has a different model though than I think. The newer ones, I think you have to leave the factory computer in the truck to make the gauges and stuff work, from what I hear. I have to talk to him about that. I usually don't care so much for the gauges and the other side of it. You know, I get asked that question a lot, but gauges don't mean anything to me. I mean, I've driven for a long time with no gauges. You don't need gauges. I mean, as long as you know you have oil pressure and voltage and you're not overheating, that's all you need to know. And your phone will tell you that. You get the torque app and a Bluetooth dongle from eBay. So you spend less than 20 bucks. You probably spend $15, and you can monitor all of your sensors through your phone. But yeah, I have to talk to Richard about that and see, because I do get that question a lot. People ask about the gauges a lot. I'm not sure why everybody's worried about the gauges, but I care less. That's the last thing I work on. You know, I'll drive the truck for a couple months before I fix the gauges in the car. Would you consider building things for fans and charging them? I would like to do that. I would really like to do that, but I'd have to get to a position to where I'm able to do that, and I don't see that in my future yet. I get contacted a lot about doing side jobs and stuff, and I don't have the time for it, you know. Actually, these heads back here are waiting on me to port them. They've been waiting here. How long have they been waiting here? Jeremy Rogers. These are for Jeremy Rogers, a friend of mine. These heads are supposed to be ported to go on his truck, and they've been there for 6 months maybe, sitting right there. I need to finish them. Hopefully I'll get them finished this winter, since I can't do as much outside. I can still do some stuff, but just not as much. I've got an intake over here that I need to finish shaving. I owe this to a guy that I did some trading with, but I just stayed backed up on a project. So imagine that I'm trying to finish these things, and I still need to get the Camaro running. There's a few things I need to do on the truck, but I'm leaving it alone. Yeah, I just don't have the time to take on side jobs. I get 1 day a week to work in the garage, which is Saturdays. Sunday's my family day, hang out with my kids, give them some time. I try to sneak out here sometimes after work, but that doesn't work out very well. So Saturdays, Friday nights and Saturdays, I come out here and try to make something happen. That's not very much time if you think about it. 4 days a month. It's not much time at all to get stuff accomplished. How do you hook up check engine light? And obviously I've got mine running, can't get OBD2. That's actually very easy. There's one wire that comes from your LS harness that, what is it, I don't know if it's a power or ground, but that one wire is what triggers your check engine light to come on. So you run it to your light, and the opposite of whatever came from the harness, the power ground, is what you run out the other side. OBD2, there'll be one wire for that as well. There'll be one wire for your OBD2 that comes from your LS harness to your OBD2 port, and then at your port, all you gotta do is add a positive and a ground, and then it works. So you can just pull a positive and ground from the battery if you had to, and then your one data wire from the LS harness, and you'll have OBD2 working. You can Google OBD2 ports. They're all the same, and it'll show you which ones needs to be data, which one needs to be power, and which one needs to be ground. It's all it takes is those three. That's actually how I was able to hook it up on my harness over here. I had it hanging off the engine, and all I did was find the one wire, plug it into the OBD2 port, and then give the power and ground to the battery, and the OBD2 port works on the harness hanging off my test stand. So I might fire that up here in a little bit. Fix my screen here a little bit so I can see something. I'm missing a lot of these comments. Have you thought about using Fox body staying instead of heavy Camaro? I have thought about using a different vehicle instead of a heavy Camaro, but definitely not a Fox body. I'm find a way to say this without offending people. I'm tired of seeing Fox bodies. I said it. I don't know a nicer way to say it. They look badass. They're awesome, but everybody and their mama wants them right now and wants to stick an LS in them. I'm sick of it. I shouldn't say sick of it. That's a little rough word. I'm tired of it. There's a lot of it happening out there. I'm trying to think of something that people aren't grabbing as much, you know, like maybe a BMW 325 or something from the 90s. I mean, it's been done, but it's not done as much. Why do you do a 5.3 instead of an LQ4? That's a good question. I love 5.3s. They're easier to find. I do have an LQ4 in my Camaro, by the way, but I almost sold my LQ4 to buy 2 or 3 5.3s, and that's why I like 5.3s. They're cheaper. You can make plenty of power with them, especially if you're going boosted. You can make plenty of power with them, and there's no need in that freaking hunt for a 6.0. Everybody's hunting and scavenging and wanting the dang 6.0. It makes everybody wants it so bad. It makes me want to sell mine. I don't want. It's ridiculous. People think they can't have an LS swap unless they have a 6.0. Doesn't make any damn sense. You can make a lot of power with the 5.3. Why are y'all thinking this way? That's why. I wrote a whole what do you call it? A whole article kind of thing up on Facebook about why I like the 5.3. 5.3 is awesome. No problem, man. Glad you got the stickers. I'm a little upset with those stickers I got, though. They're not the ones that I'm supposed to be having made. I'm having an issue with my sticker people. The same people, if any of y'all have gotten shirts from me, it's the same people that make my shirts. They're a little slow, and they're not making them the right way, as you know, they're not as awesome as they should be, I should say. I think I'm going to have to switch shops because they're taking forever. Jeremy, for y'all that don't know, Jeremy Garrett there, he has a turbo 3rd gen Firebird. And I saw him while I was on the Hot Rod Power Tour, and I caught video of his car. It's pretty cool. The problem is I haven't had time to edit that video and get it uploaded. But that'll be a cool video once I do. He has a dump underneath the car. He was able to open the dump, rev it up, shot a little fireball out from under his car. It's cool. Andrew Smith's asking about how do I get a shirt. I have info on that on Facebook. I guess I need to do a video on just the shirts, huh? I'll post it here. I know on some of my other videos, the last couple of videos, in the video description, it shows the information of how to order a shirt. PayPal. PayPal is the best way to order them. Depending on what size shirt you need, depends on the cost. And I think I'm going to do a sale on those shirts soon because I have a few left of for a little while there, I made a batch of shirts that were at a digitized image on them that cleaned up the image so that I could make vinyl decals with. So I went ahead and made some shirts with it too. But we took a vote on Facebook, and we all decided to go back with the original version. It looks a little rougher, but it looks more original. And so since I don't make those digital versions anymore, I'm going to go ahead and just clearance those out. I'll probably move them. Usually, like say an extra large, $16, I think it is when you look it up. I'll probably just move those out at 10. Take a loss, get them gone. Jeremy, they're looking for your video. He might. I don't even know if he has any videos on there. No, it's a video that I recorded while I was there. I just never edited it yet. And he's waiting on me to edit. We did a whole overview of his engine bay and everything, showing his turbo and his Firebird. I get that question a lot. He said, where do I buy 5.3 engines at? Let me tell y'all a tip right now. As I'm scanning through all these comments, trying to keep up with y'all, the shorter ones are the ones that are getting answered because I'm able to read them quicker. I get the question a lot about where do I get 5.3 engines at. There's no special answer to that. I just have patience. For one, now that I've built up a reputation, everybody knows that I'm cheap. Everybody knows that I mess with LS motors. So when they come across one, they let me know. That's sometimes how I get them. I live at the junkyard, so I scavenge from the junkyards all the time. So I make friends with people at the junkyards, and they usually, when you're friends with people, they give you a deal. Watch Craigslist. Picked up some from Craigslist. Quite a bit from Craigslist, actually. Um, just patience and shopping around. Craigslist, junkyards, patience. Look how short Albert made that. 5.3 swap S10. How hard? I have no idea. I haven't done it yet. But I heard it's not that bad. I heard it sounds like it's easier than the 350 swap into the older S10s they used to have to do, you know, where they pull the steering shaft to get a header in. I heard it's easier than that. I haven't done it. I don't know. Oh man, you're coming in quick. 6.0 head and cam on 5.3. Good idea. I wouldn't want 6.0 heads on a 5.3. 862 heads that come on 5.3s, those are my favorites. I stay with them. You put 6.0 heads on there, you're going to lose a lot of compression. You're already at 9.5 to 1. You're going to drop down probably below 9 to 1 with 6.0 heads, because you're going from a 61 cc chamber to a 71 cc chamber. 10 cc's, that's a lot. I would rather have my compression and the heads flow pretty close to the same. Some people want to say the 6.0 heads flow as good as 243s. I don't know if I believe that yet. But it's still not worth it to me. I love the A62 heads. They're my favorite. They got the smallest combustion chamber. I love compression. They get the compression up. You can easily, when you go get a valve job, just take them some LS1 2-inch intake valves with you, and they'll go ahead and just put those in. It doesn't cost much more to cut the valve seat to fit those 2-inch intake valves. So they'll have the same valves as an LS1. A62 5.3 head flows the same as an LS1 head, almost identical. Those bigger valves in it, port them if you want. Even if I put 243 heads on a 5.3, which are the good heads, if you don't know, I would still mill them 30, 45 thousandths to get my compression back up, because 243 heads have a larger combustion chamber. Yep, run 4.8 flat tops. Oh, is that the same person? Even running 4.8 flat tops, I still wouldn't want them. Not unless you milled. I might consider them if you had a 5.3 with 4.8 flat top pistons, and if it was proven that the 6.0 heads actually flowed better than the 862s, and then you milled them down at least 45 thousandths, then I would consider them. You got to get it. I mean, that big ass combustion chamber is not going to be good unless you're running boost with flat top pistons. I don't know. Okay, I'll get off that subject. I just like my compression, and I'm not a big fan of putting those big chambered heads on a 5.3. I haven't messed with the LS7 cam yet, so I wouldn't know about it in a 5.3. What compression with 30,000 mil heads on a 5.3? Which heads? The 6.0 heads? How much money you should spend on an LS engine will depend on which LS engine, how many miles, and how much patience you have. So if you just want me to make up an answer, I say a 5.3 with 150,000 miles around here, complete with harness, computer, and all of that. $700. Lower the miles, the more the price goes up. You might be able to find one cheaper. It all depends on the deals. If you don't have any patience, you could spend $1,100 on it. Same thing. Patience, though, will be the key. I know where there's one right now you can get for $550, but it has 280,000 miles on it, I think. The motor's in the Camaro, Kalen. The motor is in the Camaro. Transmission's in it. Clutch, good clutch. Diamond Stage 3 clutch. The exhaust manifolds and merge pipe are in the Camaro. Waiting on me to, I don't have it up here anymore, but weld the turbo flange on. I've been trying to decide which direction I was going to put the turbo, because if I was going to exit the fender, you know, I need to rotate it to exit out the side. But I finally decided I'm going to run a downpipe all the way to the back of the car, so I know where I'm going to mount it now. So I think Justin's asking what a 5.3 with 5.3 heads milled 30 thousandths, what the compression would be. and it's about 10 to 1, if I remember right. Real close to 10 to 1. If you took a 5.3 and milled the heads 30 thousandths, it's real close to 10 to 1. .3 with the heads milled 30 thousandths and 4.8 pistons is about 11 to 1. Because what's his name? Robert just built one like that. Robert Wallace. He just started up his YouTube page again, actually. Look up Robert Wallace. He's got a 5.3, 4.8 pistons, home ported A62 heads, milled 30 thousandths, long tube headers, a 224 cam from BTR, and he's putting it in a 96 Tahoe. Right there, look at that. 78,000 miles. That thing's like brand new, David. 450 bucks. That's not a bad deal. San Antonio. That's home sweet home for me. Wish I was there. Currently living in Alabama. David's got a good deal there for y'all if anybody sees that. That's a good question. He said, what octane fuel do you run in your 5.3 with a higher compression? So my compression in my truck is about 10.6 to 1. And I expected that I would need to run 93 octane all the time. But surprisingly, when I went on the Hot Rod Power Tour, I've run like 2 or 3 tanks of regular 87 octane through it, and I don't notice a difference. I still put Supreme in there because it doesn't cost that much more, and gas is so cheap right now, and I want to make sure I'm getting all the bang that I can when I need it. But you can run 87. I'm running 87. I've heard of people running over 11 to 1 with pump gas. I think I even heard rumor of 12 to 1 on an LS motor with pump gas. Your tune, of course, is going to be critical on that. Eric's asking, someone mentioned they had LS7 clutch. I'm not running LS7 clutch. I would, because I think that's the budget way to get a good clutch on there. So yeah, I think I heard they're heavy, but still it's a good budget clutch. I would do it. I'm not doing it though. I have a diamond clutch on there right now. Am I going to make a video about the 4-wire hookup on LS engines? Jake, did you see the video I did about the 1-wire hookup? I'm not sure what you're asking if you have seen that video, but I have a video out on just hooking up 1 wire to get the harness working. Why do they say the ADE robs power? Because it's heavier. Weight, rotating mass takes more power to rotate. The damn torque converter on an ADE is 48 pounds, I think someone said. Just the torque converter will about break your back picking it up and moving it. The trans is heavier. The internals are heavier. Everything you have to rotate is heavier. So that's one way they say it does. The stock converter is usually, it must be lower than a 60E because that first gear ratio is different, but you can feel the difference in how well it launches and how it pulls between an 80 and a 60 until you get a stall. I now have a stall in the truck and it feels like a whole new world driving. You don't feel the slug of the ADE anymore once you have a stall converter in it. Yes, I am going to make, I was talking about that earlier, I am going to make a video about how to build the Ford rear ends. I'm actually, the idea I have going in my head is I'm going to make a video after I get more into these rear ends of 3 different processes of building 8.8 rear ends for an F-body. So that way I show you like the more expensive way and the cheapest way possible and the pros and cons of them all. Like for example, I'm trying to find the cheapest way possible to put an 8.8 rear end in the Camaro. So far that, because y'all know the first weak link in the Camaro rear end is that 7.5 inch ring gear. So of course we get the 8.8 ring gear rear end, the centerpiece, out of the Ford. The next weak link is the 28 splines in the rear end. But what I'm doing though, with the cheapest way possible, I'm going to use a Ford 8.8 rear end, and they have a 28 spline version that comes in a Crown Vic. And so I'll use that, and I'll use the factory 28 spline Camaro axles into that differential. So that way, say you're trying to get an 8.8 rear end into your Camaro, cheapest way possible. That would be the cheapest way possible. Reusing your factory axles would get you in there the cheapest way possible. That way you have it under there, and then when either your power goals raise to where you're finally breaking axles, or till you have the money, then all you have to do is upgrade. You'll buy the Moser axles, which are $350, and then an Explorer differential, and throw it in there, and you upgrade it all, and it's about bulletproof after that. But yeah, so I'm going to do a video covering, I'll probably do update videos as I'm building these rims, but at the very end, I'm going to go back and do an overview video showing the different ways that I did it, and how I chose it, why I chose it. My current MOS, or my previous MOS, Michael, or how about my next MOS, because I'm probably about to have to change jobs. And I'll probably change branches again at the same time. How do you know? Who's that? Kaylin, how do you know I have a NOS kit? I must have mentioned it before. I have a NOS, a nitrous kit that has been sitting on my shelf for 10 years. I bought it back when I had my other 3rd gen Camaro with an LT1 in it. I bought an LT1 nitrous kit, remote bottle opener and everything. I got it used, and I've never used it. It's just sitting on the shelf. I guess I've had other things going on. I need to put it on the truck. Jacob, I love how breaking axles becomes a goal. That's funny. Yeah. Everything can swap into a 6-speed in my truck. No, I don't want a 6-speed in my truck. In my truck, I like to be comfortable. I talked to a lot of people lately who like want to build race car truck. I don't want to build race car truck. I want comfort truck, but still fast. Kind of like a Cadillac. The Cadillac is usually nice, comfortable, and cozy, and usually has power and hauls butt, right? That's what I want. I don't want it to be the fastest thing out there. I don't want it to be a sports car. I just want it to be fast, and I want it to be comfortable. I have a 6-speed in the Camaro, and it can be fun. It all depends on the purpose of how you're driving and what you're driving. But I do not want to be shifting gears in my truck. I want to sit there, relax, put it in drive, and go. Oh, I went over that in an old video, Kaylin. All right. Send it to Memphis. Well, I think what's stopping me right now, I need to go through my kit. I sold the LT1 plate out of it. I need to buy a wet nozzle for the kit now. I bought a dry nozzle, but I have the solenoid for the wet kit, so I might as well look at it. I did buy a nozzle to try to start making progress towards putting it in my truck, but I haven't done it. There it is. But I need to buy a wet nozzle. And then I gotta find a place to put the bottle. I don't want it to take up space, so it probably gonna be a temporary, like I'll put it in there whenever I want it in there. I guess nitrous would be fun on the truck though. I would do a 6L ADE if I found one for the same price I'm getting 80 regular 4L ADEs at, $300. I don't think that's gonna happen. The reason I haven't done a 6L ADE is because of the price. Trans in the truck, Michael, is a 4L ADE. I'm a 4L ADE lover. I do have a T56 in the Camaro, but I want an ADE in it. I think right now, though, it'll be fun destroying tires with the 6-speed that's in it, though. You know, that's a good point, Jake. I have to go look at that bottle. I think it even still has a little bit of nitrous in it. The turbo size is you know what? I'm glad you asked that. I need to measure it. The turbo size is a T76 Turbonetics, and I have an intercooler. I keep looking around, like as y'all ask questions, I'm looking at the things you're asking me about. I have an intercooler above me, and the turbo. Let me grab it. Most of y'all should already know I'm cheap, so the turbo's used. Picked up a used Turbonetics T76, but I don't know what size it is, and I need to measure, I guess, figure that out. Well, since it says, how many of y'all know how to check this besides measuring? It says 96 here on the flange. Does that mean anything? I need to find out what actual size the exhaust size is. Greg was telling me about that. Got spider webs in there. It's been sitting on the shelf so long. I just realized recently I haven't really shown much of the turbo itself. I need to. All right, here we are. Let me get back on track. Mark, any plans of coming to Turkey Rod Run here in Daytona, Florida? I need to look that up. Let me go ahead and open a tab and search that. That sounds like fun. I love hot rods, rat rods. And it sounds like that might be what that Turkey Rod Run. Let me look that up. I'm not sure what's there, but even though I don't own a rat rod yet, I love rat rods. I want a rat rod. One day I need to make one. I just have too many projects right now. I wouldn't be surprised if one day I sell my 3rd gen Camaro to build a rat rod. Because you can't have too many projects. I mean, you can have too many. I can't have so many projects. I get overloaded here. I might either just park the Camaro in a shed somewhere and start building something else, but I don't know. Jared, I already have another ADE for the Camaro though. And that wouldn't be a very fair trade. I got a $500 clutch on that dang T56. Thank you, Ruben. Appreciate it, man. I got a supercharger and working on an intercooler bracket and plumbing. Sweet. Cool. Turn this heater down. Got my garage all heated up. Money. Yeah, that dang clutch was expensive. Why did I do that? Oh, I did that clutch because, of course, I think my factory clutch was dead. Yeah, my factory clutch was dead. You know what happened? I killed it. My factory clutch on my T56 in the Camaro, because when I put the squirter in it, I forgot to put the pilot bearing for the input shaft on the T56, and that destroyed the clutch because over time the input shaft on the transmission moved around and ripped the center out of the clutch, destroyed the clutch. So I had to buy a clutch, and when it was time to buy the clutch, I didn't want to buy a stock one when I could have, because I knew I was about to go turbo. I was buying the turbo, so I knew a stock one wouldn't handle the power. So I took that money and rolled it into something that could handle the power, which was the stage 3 puck style clutch. Yeah, the kids are inside with mama right now, giving me some quiet time so I could do this video. About to go harass them here in about 20 minutes or so. You think it's filled up with that many stickers? Kaden asked about my toolbox. What I do, you know what though? I remember when I first started putting stickers on my toolbox. Let me scroll over here so we can see it. I made sure not to put stickers of anything I don't like. So I only put the stickers of companies that I like on the toolbox. They're just stickers that I got at either car shows. You go to car shows like Hot Rod Power Tour and stuff, you'll get a lot of stickers there. I just collected them over time, dude. I'm freaking 36 years old, so I've come across a lot of them. This little toolbox here is, I stay with a small toolbox, which I'm pretty much outgrown now. I stay with a small toolbox because I move so often being in the military. I can't really have a lot with me. I mean, I've had a bigger one in the past, but I left it or got rid of it, gave it to family or sold it to family. But I've just now gotten to the point where I'm pretty much overflowing out of this thing. So I guess it's going to be time to step it up to a larger toolbox now. That toolbox, I won that toolbox for free when scholarship, whatever you want to call it, when I went to St. Philip's in San Antonio, Texas, automotive school. I had a little contest there where you wrote an essay to tell your story about why you want to be in the automotive field and this and that. And I guess I wrote a good story. And I was one of the 4 winners that won the toolbox full of tools, well, Craftsman tools. Pretty cool stuff. Where do I get my mechanics clothes, Jordan? I get them Walmart. Walmart has Dickies. Yeah, Walmart has the double knee Dickies. The Dickies shirt, I get them online. You can find places online that sell them. Boots, I've had them for a while. I'm sure you can figure out a place for your own boots. This Dickies jacket I'm wearing right now, I got when I worked at Pep Boys. When I worked at Pep Boys, they issued this jacket out to me, and I still have it. That was 10 years ago. I don't see any more comments. I wonder if everything froze up. '94 Chevy 4L60E transmission, fit 5.3. It'll fit behind it. How you're going to control it, I don't know. Because I don't even remember what the connectors look like on that transmission. I'm sure where there's a will, there's a way. But yeah, you can make any of those transmissions fit behind an LS. How you're going to control that transmission would be the question. Jake. Looks like a video froze. It'd be cool if this thing would let y'all speak instead of just type. Everybody says it's lagging bad. All right, y'all back? You're still there? Looks like we had sometimes, every once in a while, our home internet I have issues and kind of drop. Maybe it's my modem router, I don't know. So I'm going off my hotspot off my phone now. See how that works. Okay. You going, Matthew? You know, I don't have an accurate measurement, a real accurate. You know, I'm kind of a, what do you call it, nitpick, OCD, anal, whatever you want to call it. And before I tell somebody something, I like to have pretty accurate proof of it. You know, like I don't want to go do a gas mile measurement one trip and say that's how much miles per gallon I get. I try to check it a few times and actually measure it correctly. So I hate to say my mileage when I don't believe strongly in my measurements that I currently have. Make sense? But if I was going to give numbers, what I've currently got is it looks like 19. Was it 19? 19 on the freeway and about 17 in town. 17 in town, 16, 17 in town, and 19 on the freeway is what it looks like right now. Remember, that's with a 3000 stall converter, 342 rear end gears, long tube headers, 220 cam. You can definitely get better gas mileage than what I'm getting right now, but that's what mine's getting. You know, about a 430 horsepower motor. Happy New Year's, Alan. Take care, man. The Bluetooth thing, Andrew, I can show you. I have one here, actually. I think the one I have is broken. They're cheap. They're cheap, so I keep them stocked up because I leave this thing. This is called a Bluetooth dongle. Look for it on eBay. They're about $7 shipped. I don't know if I'd buy the cheapest ones on there. I bought some that were $3, and these are them, and they don't work. So expect them to possibly have problems. The reason I buy a couple of them is because when I do get one that works, I leave it plugged in my OBD2 port so it stays with power to it all the time. I leave it plugged in my car, and I leave an old Droid phone stuck on my dash, and the Droid phone connects to this Bluetooth dongle, OBD2 port, and then use an app called Torque, Torque, and the Torque app will read every sensor and then some, even more than that, that your engine harness will read. It'll even tell you quarter mile times, gas mileage, all kinds of stuff. The Torque app is awesome. I'm going to spell the Torque app here. Torque app on Droid is amazing. But anyways, so that's the dongle. And since I leave it plugged into my OBD2 port all the time, it always has power. I tend to burn them up like every 6 months or so. They're cheap. So I try to keep extra ones in my drawer. So I ordered 2 extra ones this time, and they both didn't work. So I had to order some more, and I try to keep one in the drawer. But that's awesome. How do I get my hands on your GearHead stickers? I got that information. I'm going to post it in the video description. Do I have a video description here? I don't think it'll let me. Yeah, okay. I'll add it to the video description. I'll put the, like I was saying earlier, the stickers that I have aren't the correct ones I'm supposed to have. I've been having an issue with my decal and shirt shop, but I'll get you what I have. Actually, since these decals aren't even the ones that I want made, and since y'all are on here live with me on New Year's Eve, just send me your address and I'll get them to you. So let me find out where you should send the address. You don't post the address here on the comments. I guess you can PM me the address on here on YouTube, can't you? Send me your address, say decal, and I'll send them out until I run out. So hopefully I got enough for all of y'all. They're not the perfect stickers, decals that I wanted, but they're what I have, and I don't want to charge for them because I'm telling the shop that I'm not going to pay for them until they get them right. So I'll just forward them on to y'all and pass them on. But the shirt order information somebody asked about earlier, I'll put in the all right. I have all the shirts stocked up. I keep them in stock all the way up to 5X. I don't keep many 5Xs in stock. I only keep one 5X and about 3 4Xs. But anyways, I keep the AGearHead4Life shirts in stock if anybody's looking for one. I'm posting that information in this video's description right now. Gray and black. I keep them both in stock. Copy. And I'm about to paste it now. Paste. There you go. How do I save that? I guess it saves automatically. Okay. Lost me. How do we send you an address? Hey, Brand. Wow, Brand. See, send me a PM here on YouTube with your address. If that doesn't work, let me know. Oh no, Andrew, iPhone doesn't have the Torque app, only Droid. That's why I use an old Droid phone you get at a pawn shop somewhere cheap, eBay, and then put it on the dash and put the Torque app on it. That's all it's used for. I switched from iPhone to Droid just because of that app, because iPhone wants like 50 bucks for the app, some other kind of app, and it's not even as good. Droid, you get on there, it's $5. And then I'm back to iPhone now, but I had switched at one point just to be able to use that app. Chris, what are you asking about how I can't? See, can I use 4.8 rods and pistons in my 5.3? if you use 4.8 rods and pistons, you'll need to use a 4.8 crank also. And if you put it inside of a 5.3 block, you will have a 4.8 again, because the 4.8 and the 5.3 share the same block. I've got an 07 Caddy with a 6.2. No, you do not want to go to 243 heads. More than likely you have L92 heads in there, which is the same thing as LS3 heads, but you can't get any better heads than that. They are amazing. LS3 heads in stock form flow with a fully CNC'd LS1 cathedral port head flows. Oh, Chris says you can't send the address. Well, let's see. How can we do this? Here. I know how we can do it. So if you want the decals and you're here, like I said, they'd be free. PayPal me a quarter, a nickel, I don't care, whatever you want to PayPal me. And in the PayPal notes, put that you want the decal. Yeah, you probably have to PM from the main page. So if you can't find a way to PM here on YouTube, like from the main YouTube page, you can just send me a PayPal payment of a freaking quarter or something. And in the notes, because it lets you put a notes comment in there, you can put your address. What kind of camera am I using? This is just a laptop that I don't use very often. It's the camera's built into the laptop right now. What kind of camera do I use for my videos? Sometimes the GoPro, sometimes my cell phone. It all just depends. Any camera I get my hands on. Smartphones these days got excellent cameras. PayPal is posted in this video's description, but I'll type it in here again for y'all. Oh, sorry, I can't type straight. Shoot. Matter of fact, you don't even have to PayPal. Look, there's my email right there. I'm not thinking about too many things at once. Just send me a message to my email, which is the same as my PayPal. And don't forget the 1 that's in my email there after AGearHead4Life. And send me a message saying that you want the decal, and I'll send them out. Only the ones I'm getting tonight on New Year's Eve will I respond to. So people seeing this video after the fact that this is aired, I'm not going to send out any more. I don't have that many actually. I probably only have about 20 small decals to send out. Yeah, you're talking about the new iPhone. I noticed they're coming out with a higher megapixel camera on it. I didn't know what the forward-facing one was though. Nah, I think both phones are great companies. It just depends on what your preference is. The iPhone's more user-friendly and basic. If you got plenty of free time on your hands like I used to when I was younger, I'd probably have more fun with the Droid because you get the flexibility. I don't have time for the flexibility nowadays. Jake, I think I've seen that question 3 times now. I answered it one time, but the internet could have cut me off, so I don't know. You said 94 K1500. Will the 60E transmission fit 5.3 LS? Yes, that transmission will bolt up to a 5.3. You'll need the torque converter adapter, which is real cheap, like $5, $10, $15. All it does is support the snout of the torque converter when putting an older transmission behind a 5.3. So it will bolt up. How you're going to control that 60E, I don't know. I can't remember what plugs are on that 94 style 60E. So that's something you'll have to figure out. But it'll bolt up, just like a TH350 will, or a TH400 even. It'll bolt up. Happy New Year's. Yeah, I'll be getting off here soon and shutting this down. Happy New Year's, guys. Any of y'all that have to leave, be with your family. Giving someone a smooch as the ball goes down. It's almost 11 o'clock here where I'm at. I'm about to shut this down in a little bit and go hang out with my kids, and so we can scream some Happy New Year's as the clock goes down. Headers for 5.3. Headers for 5.3 would depend on what vehicle you're putting them in. Since I know Mr. Vorton, Vorton, I don't even know how to say your name, but I know you're talking about for that truck. I don't know of a good header to recommend for the C10 with the 5.3. I'm running Schoenfelds right now, but I had to put a dent in mine because of where I placed my engine. I know that Holley makes a good set of stainless steel headers. Happy New Year's, Brandon. Holley makes a good set of headers. You'll probably pay for them. They're stainless steel, but they're probably quality. I've heard that you can get a set of pace setters, long tubes made for a 4th gen Camaro, and they don't take too much modifications to make them fit. But I don't really have a set header that I would recommend to everyone. Thanks, Mr. JL Jalars. Thanks, man. Happy New Year's, Dylan. Thank you. Thanks, Chris. Hey, Brandon, I just posted my email. I'll post it again. All you gotta do is send me here, I'm typing it again. It's AGearHead4Life, just like my YouTube, and then 1@gmail.com. Just send me an email, tell me you want it. After this video shuts down, though, I'm going to not take actually, when I run out of stickers is when I'll stop, which is not very many. It's like 20. So first come, first serve. I see on there. I just got Stevens, Andrew. I got your PayPal. Thanks, man. The big fat quarter, 25 cents. I was gonna say that paid for the stamp. I won't even do that anymore, will it? Stamp's gone up. All right, Chris. What I'll probably do in the future is post a video asking for questions. We'll go over questions. Thank you, Austin Stevens. Thanks, man. I'll probably make a video going over like requesting for questions to go over, and then do a whole video just answering questions for people. That way I'll be able to keep up with them. Like here, I'm scanning through and trying to keep up, and that's not easy. What's the lowest you have played for a complete LS swap to make it run and drive? $2,000. Under $2,000 I've done it. My first swap, it was under $2,000. That includes getting the truck, but I traded something even for the truck that I got for free. It might have included the drop kit too, but anyways, 2,000. Hey, you know what? Before I go, how about we crank up this engine before we shut this down? That'd be cool. That'd be a cool way to kick off the New Year's. Let's get this camera facing the right way. I wonder how it's going to sound. Let me open up the garage. Alright. So this is my engine test stand. I keep it here not just for mocking up things, but it's also, I call it my motivation. So before I get out and wrench, every time I come out to the garage, just about, I crank up the motor to get the motivation flowing. We're out here, even when we're working on other people's cars, when they come over, the first thing I do is they'll laugh at me because I'll crank it up every time. So I'm going to be shutting down this video soon. Figured we'd end it with a good positive thing, and that'll be running. This is a 4.8 that I picked up off of the Craigslist a while back. I think it was like 300 bucks. It was mostly complete, but I saw it for 300 bucks and I couldn't pass it up, so I snagged it, cleaned it, painted it, and now it stays on my test stand here for motivation. It got exhaust on it, little Flowmaster. You've seen it in my other videos. You already know about it. But let's crank it up. Just like in my video, we've got the key, that one wire. Give it power, it turns it on. I got the air pressure turned on. That's it. My little silencer I put in there, keep it quiet at nighttime whenever, if I ever have to run the engine long at night while I'm testing maybe the head gaskets. I plan on putting a radiator on here and everything and let it run for maybe an hour to fully test head gaskets. So I made the silencer to shut it down some. That's it. That is all. Hey, y'all have a good night. Have a happy New Year's, a safe one. I hope that y'all all have a productive year wrenching. Y'all keep on wrenching. Shutting this thing down. If I can find the down button. Good night, guys.